Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman was, I think she spoke for so many of us. She joins us now. Good morning, Representative. Thanks so much for taking time.
Oh, glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
I have to say thank you so much for your passion, your anger, you spoke for I think millions of us. This travesty of a hearing with Peter Strzok when first you yelled you need to get on your medication at Louis Gohmert, and then you didn't even cut Peter Strzok any. You were saying, look, they should be kissing you and thanking you. If not, the American people, the bottom line, Representative, we had a right to know about this Russian investigation before the election, didn't we?
We absolutely had a right to know about this Russian investigation. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out how the FBI decided to expose the stupidity of some emails on Hillary Clinton's behalf and at the same time keep this completely in the dark. The people of this country had a right to know what the possibilities were and what was going on to make the right decision.
I mean, I stood up and cheered when you said, if not for people like you, we would have a legitimate president. And it's about time people started saying it loud and proud that this is not a legitimate president, Congresswoman, and it is more and more clear every day. And I don't know what your reaction was to yesterday. I saw what your reaction was to the Peter Strzok hearing. I can't even imagine what your reaction was yesterday.
I vacillate between being totally angry and just being so upset I want to cry. Because what I saw yesterday with the President of the United States of America kicking the United States of America in its behind as he stood with our number one enemy and tried to give him legitimacy and equivalence of power and importance, and at the expense of his own country. I wouldn't have expected that from any citizen, let alone President of the United States. I can't figure out this president. I don't know if he's puppet. I don't know if he's owned. I don't know if he owes. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's just some kind of a intellectual idiot. I have no idea. I just know that he is making this country dangerous, and he needs to go.
Yeah.
But you know what? Not only him, Mike Pence, who comes behind him and tries to legitimize what the president has done, knowing full well it is wrong. He's as complicit as this president, and people need to realize that.
Congresswoman, for him to come out and tell us the opposite of what we all saw with our own eyes, to say what Americans saw there was that Donald J. Trump always puts the interests of the American people first, when what we saw was the exact opposite. You tweeted yesterday, Trump's both sides statement exposes his continued inability to hold people accountable for wrongdoing. To suggest mutual blame when we just indicted their intelligence officers means he's abandoned reality to parrot Putin's talking points. And then to see him do it live, and you see the Russia retweeting, liking his tweets and saying, we agree. I just never thought I would see anything like this in my lifetime. Did you?
Absolutely not. Unprecedented. And I need the people in this country to understand. I don't care if you voted for him. I don't believe that you vote against the United States of America. I don't believe you would have voted for someone who would have put us in such peril, who would have been disrespectful and disregarding to every ally we have, and at the same time stuck up to every autocrat and dictator and murderer and all of those things that we in this country hold in disdain. The president is off his rocker.
You know what? This is what we need. Just more plain talk out there, because we are way past time. When, people talk about a constitutional crisis, Congresswoman, we're in it. We are in it. As John Brennan tweeted yesterday, what we saw constitute high crimes and misdemeanors. It was treason. And there's no other way to spin this, is there?
Well, he told the truth. We are in a situation where we've got a Congress whose responsibility is to be the check to this kind of behavior. This Congress, this Republican-controlled Congress, is cowardly silent, and it is allowing this to continue because they've got some transactional relationship with this crazy president who continues to enrich himself while they continue to bring forth some of the worst policies that are going to hurt Americans in general. And so we got to vote. We have to vote like we haven't voted in a long time, because everybody better vote their own interest, and their own interest is to make sure that they have a Congress that holds this president accountable.
Yeah. Well, and again, that's if people need to reread that, that's their job, is checks and balances. And I have to say, with this latest Russian indictment, the obviously the link between the NRA and this latest and the Republican Party, Congresswoman. I mean, I am not a conspiratorial person, but this is getting more and more clear that clearly there are Republicans complicit here. Obviously, Devin Nunes tried to prevent her from testifying to the House committee. I just think this is going to be much worse than we fear, don't you?
I think that yesterday is going to be a turning moment. I mean, I don't think that he can tweet his way out of this. He was disloyal. He was disloyal and traitorous to the United States of America. He said, I don't believe my intelligence community or my Congress and intelligence committees in both the Senate and the House that found Russia involved in disrupting our democracy by trying to negatively impact our electioneering on his behalf. He doesn't even hold up those individuals who impartially and faithfully execute their job to keep us safe in this country and to keep democracy safe. And you know what? At the end of the day, this president, who is supposed to uphold democracy, is the most dangerous threat to our democracy, and people better realize it.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying I'm getting tired, even with the punditry and trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, Congresswoman, it was worse than that. I don't know if, when he got to the part about working with Russia to investigate, we're going to send our investigators and give them our intelligence sources, methods, evidence, so that we can investigate. I mean, my jaw dropped even further. Didn't yours?
Yeah, I'm telling you, the absurdity of it, it looms larger and larger and larger. And so I think that this is an elevation of his sort of dysfunction and degeneration. I also think that this is a turning point for the rest of us when, take the gloves off now. We cannot deal with this craziness and this danger and this thumbing the rule of law by being civil and within the rule of law. They've changed the rules.
Yeah.
And that which is most corrupt is that which is happening right now. And we've got to stand up for the people of this country. And so if we look a little pissed, a little frustrated and angry, and if you see things either on the floor in committee meetings that you haven't typically seen because of the decorum of these institutions, then that is a manifestation of two things. The frustration with this impotent Congress refusing to deal with the truth, and our determination now that gloves are off. We are taking this to the people.
I wish we had an entire Congress full of Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman and Maxine Waters, my friend from out here. I am tired of this civility debate, Congresswoman. We are in the middle of I don't even know what to call it, a coup that has occurred and is ongoing. We have clearly a Russian asset that is working against America's interests in the Oval Office. It does not get any more serious than this. Yeah. And I've often said I don't think we need to lie and cheat like they do, but we have to fight differently because going high when they went low is part of what got us here. As you say, we're not playing by the same set of rules. They don't play by any rules, right?
You're right. We got to take it to them, and we need to take it to them in a way that people understand. And you know what? The Republicans down here in both Congress and Senate, save your tweets. Do your damn job.
Thank you. Can I ask you one thing real quick before you go, Congresswoman? A lot of my listeners obviously are concerned about, as you saw, Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen yesterday saying Russians are not attacking the midterms in the same scale or scope as they did in 2016. That being said, that she's admitting they are, and we're doing very little about it. Are you concerned about that? What can we do about it? We obviously have to turn out in unprecedented numbers.
Yeah, she's a failure on so many levels.
Yeah.
She's lied from the time she's gotten into office. We had someone from the Department of Homeland Security in at a committee meeting, and I asked them, could they possibly be meddling now? We don't even know it, and they don't even know that. So for her to say that they're not meddling to the degree that they have before, I was also informed that they didn't start meddling until like the summer of the election. Well, hello, we're coming upon the summer of the election. So no one needs to believe anything that that secretary has to say. We need to be vigilant. We need to make sure that voter suppression, wherever it's taking place, is met with lawyers who are willing to fight on behalf of individuals who could be disenfranchised. And then we need to make sure that we are sending the finances down to the state so that they can have the most predictable machines and infrastructure.
Thank you. And Congresswoman, how do people check their registration? Obviously, the part that concerns me most, we know that the Russians hacked 21 states ahead of the election, breached voter registration systems, stole information from about 500,000 voters from one website. And you know that if they're knocking people off the rolls, it's Democrats, obviously. Federal officials also say it's possible malware might have been planted that could tamper with voting or paralyze computer systems in future elections, meaning the midterms. How do we, check that our registration is current?
Yeah, you can check your registrations either through the Secretary of State on the state level, which is sort of where the majority, the information, all the information is held. You can also check your registration in the county at the county clerk's office or the county election official's office, who also maintain that. And then, should you be challenged at the polls, you need to be able to know that there will be lawyers that will fight for your opportunity to vote, and you should be given an opportunity to vote provisionally if there's any question, and then your vote will be counted. But don't let anybody turn you away.
Thank you. Thank you. Representative, I honestly wish we had an entire Congress full of you. I'm telling you, I think the main thing we need to fight is despair and hopelessness. And when you stood up and fought for us the way you did at that hearing, I think it inspires so many people. So thank you. It's a thrill to meet you, and the people of New Jersey are very, very lucky.
Thank you, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to share with you. It's my blessing to be able to serve the people of New Jersey.
And absolutely anytime. Thank you so much. We will talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right. There she goes. Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman.
Rock star.
Yeah. Right? Rock star. Thank you. Yeah.
And see, you were nervous when I said I got you a surprise for today.
I was nervous. I'm such a political nerd. I was like... Okay.
You are a nerd.
All right.